is my... Okay, here we go. Now we've got some sound. Okay, good morning, everybody. I'm back. Took last week off. I was just really tired last Saturday and decided not to do a stream. I'm back. Coffee Magic with my cup from Good Pals company, whatever. Good Pals. And it's been an exciting week. So, if you're, well, last couple of weeks really. So, if you're not familiar, sorry, I got something going on with my webcam that's driving me nuts. If you're not aware, I recently launched my podcast, Magic in the Moment. You can get it pretty much wherever podcasts are available. I finally got a confirmation last week that Apple has approved it. It was in the Apple Podcast. But the best place to listen is Anchor. And the only reason I say that is through Anchor, you can actually call into the podcast. So I record an episode and you can call the podcast and leave a voicemail that can be played on a future episode. So that allows us to kind of have discussion. The whole point of the podcast is really to keep it quick. So my goal is to never go over 10 minutes. And it's little tips, rants, kind of thoughts on magic in the moment. Perfect title. But like when I'm thinking about something, it's like, okay, this is bothering me, or this is something that's happening, or this is, what's going on. So some of them may supplement videos that I've done, or be a precursor to a video that I might do. And then I've also been thinking about doing, I've thought about doing possibly some interviews on there. But it's also very possible that some of the magic and coffee magic get uploaded as a podcast on there as well. So that's live. Like I said, you can get it pretty much wherever podcasts are available. So Apple, Google, Spotify, Anchor. I think it's on. I'm pretty sure it's on Pocket Cast. Just check wherever you get your podcast, and if it's not there, you can let me know, and I can see about getting it added. Other things that are going on this week, obviously yesterday was April Fool's Day, and there was a plethora of pranks, including Vanishing Ink, which actually theirs is still listed. I'm kind of shocked that theirs is still listed, so they haven't updated their website to remove theirs. But their April Fool's prank was the Ultimate Thumb Tip Kit for $401. And I have to say, when I first saw it, I forgot it was April Fool's. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. You're selling a thumb tip for $400. And like, I was ready to do like a whole like rant video and rant podcast and everything. And then I was like, finally it dawned on me, I'm like, oh, duh, Corey. Other thing that happened this week was, I guess this morning, late last night, depending on where you're at, was the Netrix from Craig Petty launched. And I'm going to do a whole review of the service, but the site looks like it was built by an 8-year-old. So I subscribed to it because I want to check out some of the courses, see what there was. The site looks like it was built by a child. It was very poorly made. And also, I signed up from my cell phone. On the front page of the Netrix, there is no login button. So I can't go in and just log in on the front page. I have to click into a link and then go to a sign-in button and log in that way. Bad design. Also, it fits Magic TV's horrible thumbnails. So where you just get like a color of something. Well, let me actually... That's not what I wanted. Let me just actually go into what this looks like. So anyone who's a graphic designer or web page designer is going to see this and they're going to cringe. like, I'm not the best at designing web pages, but this is something that I would have made. How this looks is something that I would have made when I was first learning HTML back when I was in like middle school, back in 1995. So let's go over this. So yeah, so this is, we'll go to the main page. So this is the main page that you get to. So no login button anywhere at all. And you got your links up at the top of how things work and whatnot. More trailers. Like, and honestly, I knew this gold package was going to be about $100. I thought this would be more conservatively priced. To compete a little bit with what's out there. Granted, you're going to be getting a lot of stuff, but $14.99. And keep in mind, this is in like pounds. That's like $20 a month American currency. 29, I think, is getting closer to about 40. And then this 99.99 pounds, ridiculous. Now, granted, it's only open to 10 people. It's, you're going to be, the gold package is really going to be intended for someone who's really looking at more marketing and growing, like, in a bigger capacity. But still, I think, like, a gold package, keep it at 100. I think the bronze package should be priced at $9.99. Make it competitive with Magic Stream and other Magic streaming services. And silver package should be probably closer to, if you don't want to do it at $14.99, do it at $19.99. I think that lowering those would help out tremendously. But Craig thinks he's a god and is going to do things the way he wants to do. And honestly, everyone should get a discount for just how poor the site is created. Courses, this is what I was talking about, like this just awful design of these courses. Like make these less. Also keep in mind, I'm logged in, and it tells me that this course is $30. From what I understand, is if you don't want to be a member, you can just come in and buy a course for $30. Okay. When I'm a member, this should not be present. This should at least switch to say free. It should be based off of if I'm logged in or not. Or only offer a few that are paid for. Say, hey, do you want the full experience, the full catalog? You need to subscribe. So that's another one of my problems. I think this is view courses. If we go in here, the same thing as collections. Dashboard takes me to my settings. I don't even think that takes me to anything. Oh no, this just takes me back to the courses and to the community, which I've not checked out because in today's world, your Magic community shouldn't be any kind of forum. Your community should be built in Discord. It should be built in Slack. It should be built in even Microsoft Teams, in one of those places, and not as a forum. Forums are a dying breed. No one wants to use forums anymore. They want real-time chat. So that's another kind of gripe. I might as well just make this all a bitching about Netrix video. But I've not really looked at, like I said, I've not really looked at anything. I've done a little bit of just kind of browsing around, and I've not been impressed so far. Which is sad, there's a lot of hype, and for the amount of times it's been delayed on launch, I think it was originally supposed to launch in 2021 back in like September or October, and they just kept getting pushed back and pushed back. And then it was supposed to be at the beginning of the year, pushed back, and now it's finally launched, and it looks like a child created it. So yeah, there's that. So that's kind of my gripe this week. Like I said, I'm going to get in and start looking at more of the courses. But another thing that I really don't like is give me like you have all these contributors on any of these. If I didn't know Kyle Purnell did Cash Grab, I'd have to click that and see who's teaching the course. Tell me who's teaching, because maybe I don't want to. Maybe I'm one who's like, oh, Justin Miller and Adam Wilbur are contributors. Like, I just want to see what they're doing right now on metrics. I just want to see what they have to offer. I can search. I can do a search for them. That's fine. But I shouldn't have to do a search to find their stuff. I should be able to say, here's the instructors. Oh, I want to look at this person. Or I want to look at this person. Now they have the courses that's not in the mobile app where you could say card routines, coin routines, but that should be make it better. I can't believe, I mean, I can. Looking at Craig, you know that he doesn't care about aesthetics. But I can't believe that this would launch looking so piss poor. And that's a big thing for selling. When you're selling something, like, you can't have a piss poor looking product. It has to look good. It goes back to how packaging is today. Like before, I put a bunch of my Magic stuff away that's been kind of just out on shelves, but before you would get like stuff in Ziploc baggies and paper instructions, and now you get like these immaculate packaging. Um, Actually, I can pull out a great example of that I have here. So this here is a Sankey trick in the old way of doing things. So Ziploc baggie, I have a picture, and the gimmick is in here. And this is how things usually, you go to Magic Shop, this is how you get things. Now you get nice killer packaging. That sounds like that's loose. And then when you take the item out of the package, like, it's nicely displayed inside. Like, you got like this nice thing, this nice box to keep all your stuff in. And it didn't used to be like that. Everything used to be like this. So that's kind of that's my gripe when it comes to things. Like, packaging is a big deal, especially today when you're buying things. Magicians want our consumer experience with Magic to match our consumer experience in regular brick and mortar stores. If I went to Walmart and DVDs were sold in these, if I was buying DVDs, I wouldn't buy this. I might buy this because it's space saving, it's eco friendly, but I wouldn't buy this. This black envelope tells me nothing, where this design is much better, it's much cleaner. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that. I just find it really irritating when people have piss poor designs on things. But I digress. I'm ranting too much. What else has been coming out? I don't think there's been a whole lot. Vanishing E's had a lot of puzzles coming out recently. Oh, speaking of Craig Petty, Crystallize is finally out at $160. I've seen the effect. It looks fine. It looks good. not something that I'm interested in. It's a chop cup with a salt shaker, essentially. So there's that. P to P paddle from Hanson Chain is back out, or a re-release. So now you get like there's one where you get two gimmicks, and you can get it in two different flavors: chocolate and strawberry. That's like the Pocky sticks. Um, Cupcake looked really good from Bacon Magic. Now, Bacon Magic's been releasing a lot of things recently that I've been kind of intrigued with, and Cupcake is another one of those. It is a small chopped cup uh, and slot Akita box that allows you to perform um, your traditional chop cup routine, but you can also do this with coins. And it's like it's $30, and I'm really tempted to pick it up. A badge holder from Joda or Hoda. I don't know how to say his name. Is that how? There's been a lot that's come out since last week. Adam Wilber's Volpine Creations Amazing Coffee Cups and Beans has been released. I think it's on pre-order right now. It's $250. Um, as with a lot of things, when I'm talking, with Strix, I know like Volpine has their own website. If you can buy directly from Volpine, support the creator directly. Um, Adam produces these helmet. He's when you buy from a magic shop, and I've said this and ranted about it before a little bit. When you buy from a magic shop, yeah, you are supporting the creator in a way, but they had to sell their product to that market for a discounted price, and that's all they're getting from it. And you're gonna serve that creator better, especially if you're a big fan of theirs and you know that they have a website. You're gonna serve them so much better by buying directly from them. Um, take something like, I don't know what I'm about to say is just all hypothetical numbers first before we get started. I don't want anyone thinking that I'm spitting out facts, but coffee cups and beans retails for $250. Selling to like a mom and pop shop, probably wholesale is probably about 125. Because usually shops are double the wholesale price, or the sale price MSRP is double what the wholesale price is. Usually, when it comes to Magic, not always, but usually. Then you have the big providers or suppliers. So, like if you think of Walmart, um, using this box of Magic, let's say this retails for $1. I buy it for 50 cents a box, so I can sell them for $1. Walmart, who's a bigger retailer than me, can come in and buy the same box for like 10 cents and sell them for $1. So they're making where I'm making 50 cents a box, they're making 90 cents a box. And the same is true with Magic. So Vanishing Ink, being a larger distributor of Magic, is probably getting a better wholesale deal. They're buying more copies where a smaller, again, all hypothetical, but someone like maybe Brent Braun's Magic Shop, brick and mortar Magic Shop, can only get like 10 of these in, let's say. Vanishing Ink might be buying like 200 of these. So that's kind of where the difference comes in at, because Vanishing Ink is able to provide more, so they're going to have a better discount, where Adam could be losing money by doing this, or making very little, maybe only making $10 on top of what it costs to produce. Again, all hypothetical, but that's kind of how it works. So when he sells them to Vanishing Ink, that's the money he's getting. So if he's only making, essentially, after cost and everything, let's say he's selling these to Vanishing Ink for $80 a set, but it costs him $75 to produce a set. He's making $5. Whereas if you buy directly from him, he's getting that whole $250. So he's getting a good portion of his money back. Like he's able to make more money that way. And some people don't care about that, but when the Magic community one is so tight knit and just how things work, it works exactly the same as it does in regular retail. Coming from someone who's ran a Magic shop before, it's ridiculous. Because one of the things that we saw a lot of Magic shops was playing cards, USPCC. It almost wasn't cost effective for us to sell decks of cards when magicians are going to go to Costco or Sam's to buy bicycles. So I would try to get tally hos and things like this, decks that weren't as easily accessible. Because for us to sell a bicycle deck, our cost retail wise was still like $3 a deck. Where you could go to Sam's Club and buy 12 decks for $15. So we would have to say, okay, that we knew that there was going to be like our loss leader. We weren't going to make any money on it. So we'd sell for $3.50 a deck to go in line with if you went to like a convenience store to buy a deck of cards. And you just have to accept that as a retailer sometimes. But where Walmart can get them and Sam's and all them because they're such a large store, can actually get that same thing that we're ordering for so much cheaper. So yeah, I've kind of gone on a little rant on that, but moving on. Also, my allergies are a mess, and I'm not happy about it. There's some super elastic thread that's gone up on Vanishing Ink, Capstack. I'm not a fan of Capstack. It's from Taiwan Bend. It just seems like a possible thing just to do with ungimmick caps or gimmicking yourself. Like if you see this, you're going to be like, oh, okay, I know how that works. And it's $55. Capstack, in my opinion, should be no more than about 15 or 20 bucks. So it's overpriced. I'm interested. Let's look at the reviews. Because it's something that can definitely easily be made. Of course, there's been a question posed which has not been answered yet, so that pretty much gives the answer. David asked, can this be inspected? If I flick them off the bottle onto the floor like they do in the video, can the spectator grab them and do it themselves? So there's that. I don't. Sometimes it just feels like people are putting magic out to put magic out. What else has gone out? That might be all the big stuff that's been released. Just some rubber band things. Spring, I don't like spring either. It's taking an old puzzle and making it magic. I don't know. When you take puzzles and make them into magic, like you're creating something that people also know is a puzzle, you're making that effect a puzzle. And I've never been a big fan of that. Heads and Tails is finally out. Or Heads and Tails prediction is finally out for 35. And I think that's about it. So, yeah. Other things that's happened this last week. So, Illusionist had their Black Star Day or whatever it was, where basically everything on their website was 50% off. There was some exclusions, and people were mad about the exclusions. But what do you expect when they put like something brand new out? So, like, I just got the Peaksmith, and I'm pretty sure that the Peaksmith was part of the exclusions. It's normally like $200 something. They're not going to sell that for 50% off. But there is some controversy to the fact that the How to Read Minds kit, where they sent out an email saying this will never be less than what you paid for at a Kickstarter, was less than what we paid as backers for the Kickstarter project. So, like, I have mine, or How to Control Minds right there, and I've got How to Read Minds up there. and those are both much less than the Kickstarter. Um, so yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. It's Illusionist. No one's ever accused them of being an ethical company. Um, sure, they have some, but they've put out some blatant ripoffs of items, and um, I mean, it's Illusionist. That's they have some stuff, but I think they're getting more and more to be. You know, they were originally like the bad boys of Magic, and people like you used to get. You know, you get judged if you bought from them in the past because of how they were. And then they became like the really cool place to get Magic from because you know it was edgy and they were thriving. They were putting out a lot of really good stuff. And now they've kind of gone back to being like, so if you order from Illusion, it's like, why do you order from Illusion? It's like the things that I get mostly from them are cards, and it's almost it's almost a detriment to your character if you work with Illusionist or for Illusionist at this point. Um, I think they need to go back and find their balance of what they're doing and get back on track. They've had a lot of flops recently. Um, they've had a few missteps. They had their whole Back in Black thing, um, where the site shut down for like a week, and people who purchased from it, including myself, like I'm like, I don't usually download my purchases because I'm like, oh no, they're up there, they're fine. Bad on me, but that's usually my thought process. Like, oh, it'll be fine. And we all thought we lost everything that we'd paid for, spent our money on, because no one provides actual instructions anymore. And so you've got that. And it just seems like it's been a downward spiral since then. Um, they've released their apps, and then oh no, we're done with apps. We're not going to do them anymore. So people who had just bought apps was like, wait, what? I've got this. There's bugs, and now you're saying you're not going to support it anymore. And then they got Shamir, who was doing his best to support everything and work with everything. And then they bring out Cypher Pro, and that makes people mad. From Lloyd, who was one of the original creators of Cypher, which this is still essentially the exact same trick. Mad that his name was put on it. Oh, that's a whole other story to talk about. Mad that his name was put on it because it wasn't his trick. It's essentially the exact same trick. It's just got a couple added features. And it's a real app, which makes it better. To also people complaining that they had to buy the pro version, even though Illusionist brought it in at like $15 to start off with, saying, hey, you know what? Here's the link. It's $15. And then people say, well, this link is accessible to everyone. Why should, that's not fair to us. It was a secret link. Like, the only way someone's going to know about it is if they went in and searched for Cypher at Illusionist. It wasn't listed. So people were mad about that. And then they were mad that it was part of the pre-release that there was bugs. Well, it's because that was a pre-release, and they made it pretty clear, or at least I felt that they made it pretty clear that that pre-release was they were trying to identify as many bugs that they hadn't found as possible, because you can only find so much with a small group of testers. And I'm going to guess the original testers were Shamir and maybe a couple people on the Illusionist team. So I'm going to give them a pass on that, but there's been a lot of bad press with that. And just with a lot of different things. Like, people like to complain about stuff. But the other thing with Lloyd Barnes that I want to talk about, and I got mad listening to this while I was driving my car, because he just got done yelling and screaming that they put his name on Cypher Pro. It's not my trick. It's nothing to do with my trick. This is a pro version. This is an actual app. Mine was a web app. Mine did this, even though this one does the same things. And I felt like it was good on Illusionist to say, hey, this is by Lloyd. This was his original concept. Now they release these stupid headphones that's a ball and vase basically, and put in like Concept by Lloyd Barnes or something like that, really small in it or whatever. And now oh, I wish he would have called me. They didn't give me any. They didn't do this. Um, this is blah, blah, blah. It's like you can't have it both ways. You either want them to credit you or you don't. Um, and like I said before, I like Lloyd. I enjoy watching his videos. I think we'd probably get along pretty well if we met in person. I think we're both pretty easygoing guys. But it's one of those things that it really irritated me. Because that's like, to me, that's similar to just being like, telling someone like, oh no, I don't want to have a hamburger for dinner. And you debate over it for like an hour, and they finally say, okay, where do you want to go? And then you're like, I want to go to Burger King. But you just said you didn't want hamburgers. Well, no, I want Burger King's hamburger. I was like, but we were offering you this hamburger. Well, yeah, but I didn't want that hamburger. I want this hamburger. But you said you didn't want any hamburgers. Well, I meant that I wanted this hamburger. I know that's a weird analogy to make. That's what I'm good at, making weird analogies. But yeah, so just kind of, I don't know, irritated me a little bit. Um, so actually, that might be where I cut this off because we've been going over about 35 minutes. Uh, Next videos coming up. Hopefully, I'll have time to record both of them tomorrow and then just space them out because I've been having a hard time getting things recorded during the week. For the last couple of weeks, so the videos have been a little bit delayed. So next video will probably go up tomorrow, and so one video is going to be kind of a rate my EDC. So if you're in the EDC Magic Facebook group, I had put a post out there. It's like, hey, share your EDC in this thread if you want to be featured in it. I might go through the EDC group and just find things and pull them out and put them in a video because I want to make this a series. There's going to be a little bit of roasting aspect. Not so much roasting where I'm just tearing you apart, because that's not fair. I don't know, like I would do that to my friends, like people who I'm close with, but I don't want to do that to a perfect stranger. Though I might a little bit, depending. But really just kind of like, judging a little bit of like you have too much stuff that you carry. And then another video I want to do is about Magic and Kickstarter. Because I am so sick of these whiny, bitchy little magicians backing Kickstarters and then complaining when it's taking them a while to get their product. Like, obviously they've never backed Kickstarters before, so I was going to do a podcast on it, but I think I'm going to do a whole video on it. And maybe call some people out for being bitches. I don't know, but I want to thank you for watching today, and enjoy the rest of your Saturday. If you haven't already, grab yourself a cup of coffee. If it's the afternoon, grab yourself a cup of tea, and we will catch you. We'll catch you on the next episode of Coffee Magic. Peace.